Well, I normally put a drawing on here to start with because of the focus thing. That just helps the camera to focus. That was one of yesterday's. And hopefully it's fixed it. Paper's a bit curly. It's a bit damp in here, so the paper's curling up on that corner. I don't think it'll be a problem, but there we go. So yeah, I don't know what I'm going to draw today, to be fair. To be honest, is what I mean. It'll just be whatever it'll be. It'll end up wherever it ends up. I'm going to draw this guy because I quite like the whole atmosphere of it. You know, whether or not I get into making it into a full-blown painting or not, does not matter, but we'll see. See how it works out. I just seen the one of these sort of Chinese schools, painting schools. That's just mad, isn't it? It's just mad, you know. All the things that I think about with doing this, you know, being creative all my life, even though it was 25% of it or 25 years of it was computers. I still think I was being creative, but you know, that thing about expressing yourself and just finding something new and all that kind of, I mean, these people sat like automatons drawing exactly the same image and being marked in an instant by someone who, this is the sort of the Chinese ways why all the Chinese artists paint in the same way, I think, because of that kind of programming. But that's not art, is it? Is that art? It isn't to me. But some might think the fact that these people can copy meticulously and identically to everyone else, that somehow that's art. I don't think many artists would agree that it was. But yeah, it's quite upsetting in a way. You know, it's like, it just, I mean, partly because it sort of undermines what this is about. There's other people to do that as it is. You know, I saw somebody this morning and said, please, can someone tell me how to paint where you can't see the brush marks? But, probably lots of people, I'll tell you how to do a paint without brush. Use a camera. That's a great way to paint without brush marks. But yeah, it's very concerning, I suppose, is the thing. No, I'm not going to go to war over it, but I think if you want to degrade, see, this is what I don't like, that all of the idea that it's a production thing. I don't like any of that, and you know, processes, and I don't like competitions. I don't like anything that's going to turn it into some kind of everyday job, I suppose, which is the illustrator thing in me. You know, I didn't like it because of that, but it's just it does to this. It's not, don't mean anything. Look at all these people that can do it. Yeah, it doesn't mean anything. You know what I mean? It's like the most important thing a human can do is create. And it's nothing. It's nothing. It doesn't mean anything. It doesn't mean anything. Just anybody can do it. And, you know, look at all these people. There's thousands of them can do it. all exactly the same. Yeah, so I planned to do something today, some kind of I don't know, something bigger than normal. I don't know whether this is it. I don't know, but I had planned to do something. I think the I mean, it's all the intention thing can sometimes stop me with tracks. You know, I said it last night. I'm going to do something. I feel I should do something a bit grander than another face, but always a problem that, because you know, then I'm in that dilemma. You know, what should it be? And then all of a sudden, how will it be? And what medium will I use? And you know, so it's better not to think about it. I think that's the answer to it. Don't think about it, just do it. I'll tell you what's interesting about yesterday's, this one, I saw that one, was the way that evolved. And pretty much a different paper, by the way, you can tell, can't you? The danger of it being a bit grey, but I'm hoping that it can stand up to a bit of density. Sometimes they don't. You know, sometimes these I tell you what, it's not a good paper. It's not good paper. I can see straight away when it starts to, when I try and increase the densities and things. So I'm probably going to, it's not even taking the charcoal in there. I'm putting it on there and it's still, so I'm not going to fight with that. So I'm going to abort this, I think. And if I can't apply the charcoal as I want to apply it, it's going to pretty much stop me with tracks. I'll carry on a bit further and see what happens and see whether or not it does start to perform a little bit better. Yeah, I think it was probably, you know, the energy. If you saw me do it, the energy of it. I was talking about drawing outside the lines, but the energy of it as it, which is I don't know. I mean, I'd say that it I was talking about the vibration of edges and things, and I think that the energy of it sustains. You know, as I refine and move it closer towards where it needs to be, I can feel that the energy is still there. It's just I'm just harnessing that energy, and it, you know, it's like just it's beyond the you know the perceptions or understanding of what it is that we're doing with this. It's like it's a little bit more. So what I'm saying about these Chinese people, they won't be thinking about it like I think. You know, they're just thinking about it. I mean, to be fair, you might as well just let AI do it. as that, you know, people sat around like that. For what reason, I've no idea why they do it. If it's because they think they can get a job, or because that's probably what drives them. I'm sure there's some that are creatives, proper creatives. I think, but there's a lot of them that are just doing it as a you know, a means to earn, get them out of whatever, you know, to earn money and whatever. But yeah, I think there's more to it than just whether or not you can get the lines in the right place. Yeah, this might help. This might work. This paper. It's better with this piece of charcoal, although it's too small, really. But I'm persevering with a smaller piece. I mean, it's going to have some, you know, sort of background bleed onto that anyway. So it's because it's going to belong. I like the, you know, when I was sort of first banging on about this and talking about the belonging thing, the idea that the head belonged, or the body, or whatever it was, it belonged to, you know, its background, belonged to where it lived. That's tonally and in terms of, well, light is tone into it, but tonally and maybe the colours, and just so that there's a continuum of things. That's what I like about this sort of thing. I don't do it so much these days, but you know, this sort of, it just becomes part of the background and not a floating head thing. But yeah, I'm going to persevere with this because I think it might be possible. I just had to change the charcoal basically to compensate for the charcoal, not for the paper, not wanting to take the charcoal. getting very tiny, this now. That's terrible. But if it works on this paper, then I'm going to stick with it. Let me just fix the shape of his mouth here. I was thinking about the Santa thing as well. You know, last few years I've done a draw Santa with me kind of lesson thing. I don't know whether I'm going to do it this year. I didn't do the Halloween thing. I didn't. With nobody really bothering doing that. So I don't know whether or not I'm going to do the Santa this year, because I might just draw Santa, you know, rather than a draw Santa with me kind of thing. I don't think that there's enough people interested. There's plenty of those kind of things around anyway. So, and you could always, if you wanted to do it, you know, do my last year's or year before's or whatever. But I don't think it's. I'll just draw Santa. You know, what I'll do is I'll probably do it in the members area, and then it's at least I know people want to do it then. And it won't be wasted, kind of thing. I'm going to try and do a lot more in the members area. I think that's probably something that'd be worthwhile, rather than just the 2 lessons a week thing. Be good to get sort of better connected, I suppose, with people in that way. 1 or 2 of them are really, you know, really engaged with it. So it's good. I like it. I like to help. I said, well, we find a better piece than this. So, I think it's this paper that's just not great paper. It's not the really the floppy bad one that I used on that. I can't remember what I did. That yesterday morning, was it, with the guy with the glasses? It's not that one. But it is what it is when I first started doing this, I used to get this recycled cartridge, which is what this is, and I stopped buying it because they wouldn't ship it properly, and every time it came, it was always damaged, and it was also badly marked because of the way that they made it. It would have been, just scrap paper or whatever it was made out of, and not good enough, not consistent. I'd buy 150 sheets and 50 sheets were no good, that kind of thing. But mainly it was the way it was shipped. It was not sent protected, and I kept complaining about it, but they never changed. So, and that's what this is. So I just want to say, it's okay. It's not brilliant, but it's okay, and. All the earlier drawings that I did on this paper. That rubber that you just see me use was actually the blue tag, which is why it didn't rub anything out, because it's blue tag. But I only used it because someone said to me, well, I saw one of those videos, you'll have seen these videos. It says the ultimate rubber, or the best rubber, or whatever, magic rubber, whatever he called it, I can't remember. So I went and bought some blue tag, and it doesn't work. So it's like, how many of these things do this, and it doesn't work. Like I say, it's kind of a let me just show this a bit. It's a bit of a more than just a face. This. I think that one of the things I'm going to try and do is a little bit less just faces floating, although there is a if I do them right, they're kind of a bit more than a floating face. But I'm going to try and do a bit more of which is what I might do today. Something with a bit more context. It's a place, or it's an environment thing, just to give it the head some kind of presence and some relevance. I'll tell you what might be interesting. I'm all about the emotional side of it. If the context can amplify the emotional side of things, that would be interesting. If I can find some images, that's the thing. Again, this is the problem. It's like, if I do that, if I think, I'm going to, what I've just said, try and find an environment or context that amplifies the emotion, What does that mean? How do I do that? Not sure. I'm still in that, when I was talking about this edges thing, I'm still in that frame of mind at the moment where it's where things meet things. It's sort of to break that down, for it not to be an edge as such, just to be the slowing down of the tonality, a little bit of more implication than suggestion, and there's certainly a little bit of connection to its environment. The belonging thing that I've talked about before, where I watched something this morning with a painting a portrait, and it was like, it was awesome. It was like just all the and it did. I mean, this is one of the things that I noticed when I first started making oil paintings, was the or using oil, should I say? It was the refinement process thing. The gradual tweaking and refinement thing. Which then, I suppose, in a way, influenced doing this. But this kid had done exactly that. Just lots of big marks, and then they gradually become more and more. I don't know it's precision, but they gradually become more and more connected. They were already connected anyway. They were already quite, sort of fluid and amalgamated with each other. And just something about that became, it was like just coming into focus. That's what it was like. But all the time that he was drawing it, he's painting it, and his early marks, they were all, it was the background and the foreground and you know, it was a portrait, so every part of the face and then the way it touched the background and the way it related to the background, and it was all almost like one. So I kind of I still like that kind of thing now. I still like it when it's. I nearly said when you see the brush marks. I do like it when you see the brush marks, but that's not. I think this is the back to the. I want to be able to capture the essence of something or somebody, regardless of how I executed it. That's you know, the execution is there, which is back to this Chinese thing. You know, this that is all about execution, how well you can do something, and it's irrelevant, isn't it? You know, I mean, if people can do it, that many people can do it. It clearly proves it's just a top skill thing, and you know, the production side of it is. So I don't want to do that. I want to do a little bit more than that. Yeah, which is probably why I try to sort of break out of the usual sort of thing. And the problem I have with this, always have this problem, is like I'm just drawing faces, and it feels that, you know, the kind of motivation that I've got and the things I talk about just seem to be too much for just drawing faces. But I think the thing is that if I don't think of it like this, then I can't do it. If I just think of it as it's just going to be a production thing, then I don't want to do it. Then that's to do with those years of stopping, because it became about a production then, so I didn't want to do it. So I suppose that's why I'm like I am with the way I think about it now. Get another piece now. So I'm just going to look at this. I just need to get that a little bit wider there. I think that's the trajectory of the forehead there. It's throwing the this shape thing here. That's the bit of charcoal. I don't like the try this bit. Oh, that takes it off completely. Yeah. So, as I said, this is not great paper, and it's probably going to make me work for the to get the densities right. But first drawing of the day, and like I say, it was going to be well, it might still. I don't know yet. I don't know whether or not this is going to be salvageable with the paper, but it might end up being a bit more of a painting than a drawing. But as I said, you can really never tell with these. I'll go until I've got. See, the thing about this is that it is the whole image that creates the emotion. It's not, as what I was saying earlier about the environment creating the emotion. It's not necessarily just the look on his face. So that's not the most important thing. It's everything. So how much, and I tell you what, that is interesting because it suddenly means that the face is not that important. It's the whole thing is important. There are some artists that do this, and the whole thing is an atmospheric expression thing, and that's probably what this is. It's probably what I'm talking about when I say about trying to get the environment to amplify the emotion thing. Looks like Jude Law. Mind you, everybody says that my youngest son looks like Jude Law. I think he's better looking than Jude Law, but it does look a little bit like Jude Law. Check him out, Harrison Swaby. If you look at his profile picture, you'll see what I mean. Good looking lad. Takes after his mother. But you can see what I mean about the environment creating this atmospheric thing that's happening here. Like I say, there is some people I'm connected with that they can do this, make these images that look so much more than just a face, much more than a drawing of a face or a drawing of a figure. It's I'm going to say it's painting. I think that's what it is. Whether this goes that route, I don't know. I can't like it. I can't like the not drawing business, the undrawn stuff. Part of it's to do with the charcoal being a bit wacky, but I think one of the talking about the atmospheric thing, one of the things that I notice about the people that do that stuff is the amount of time they spend on the the sort of building of tones and gradual stuff, really clever stuff. Certainly much more equipment than I use, that's for certain. But it's just tiny things. I have a friend of mine that does it, and it's just things. It'll alter something. You just can't tell what he's just done, but it just makes so much difference. And it's gradual, it sort of evolves. A bit like this is doing now. I'm going to try it using these, what's happening with the sort of the jawline thing. So as I'm amending the tones, for instance, here, that these are gradually getting more and more. You see there, look darker. Just with a few layers, I suppose, of charcoal, and yeah. Yeah, and they use lots of other tools, stumps and things like that. I'm not really. If I can do it with my fingers, I will. If I can get away with just using a Q-tip, a cotton bud, I will. And last resort is the sponge on a stick, But no, these guys use everything. Tissue paper. That's a favourite to get a thing really blended. But any stuff like that is just I'm all of a sudden trying to make photographs and it's not good. It's not good. Fairly miserably when I'm doing that kind of thing. But yeah, I'm kind of quite limited with the deliberately quite limited in the equipment that I'm gonna use. But anyway. I'm going to sharpen this and just try and even out some of these. There is a tiny glow on the edges of his face where it hits the background, but I think the the danger with that is that it becomes an outline and not a glow if I'm not careful. I want it to still have that feeling of belonging to the background. If I cut it out almost, it's gonna look exactly like that. So I don't really want to do that if I can help it. Yeah, I'm going to sharpen this and then I can try and get these darker bits down. So the other thing is that this environment thing. Let me see if I can. But one of the things about playing tone even like this, I mean, I don't mind seeing the lines in it. There's some kind of, for me, there's a cumulative effect of that. But I've done it sometimes where I wanted it to be flat, and the best way to do it is use a bit of charcoal. Use a bit of charcoal from sandpaper. I had a piece of sandpaper somewhere. Let me just see if I can find it. No, I did have a piece of sandpaper that I was using. And yeah, here we go. Here we go. I don't know what this is. I'm going to wet and dry. But to put the charcoal dust on it and then put it on your finger, and as you blend it, you know how there are lines in it already. It takes the lines out. Ish. It's a lot better. I mean, it's a lot smoother just by doing that. Yeah, but I kind of like the unevenness of it anyway. So I'm not precious about it anymore. I used to sweat over it, but I'm not really bothered. Yeah, there are things that I need to. Because it's the tonal relationship between that and that. It's that one there and there. It's that one. If it's too stark and it lifts off, and whether or not it's sort of fuzzy edges or whatever it is, lines that overlap or whatever it might be. I'm going to try with this just to put that definite edge back in again. Whether it's lines that sort of break out or whether it's no lines at all, or whether it's a fuzzy blend. It's the connection of the the background to the foreground, or the elements to the background. It's that. I think that goes back to the edge management that people talk about. This understanding how things touch each other. I think also there's a lot of the implication suggestion thing going on as well. So, when people leave edges out, leave a line out, and I do it as well. It's kind of you're sort of playing on the fact that people will complete the picture. You know, they will understand that if you imply that the edge of the face does this, they will complete the picture. You don't have to draw the whole of that edge for them to understand what's happening. Right, I'm going to leave it at that. Probably going to fiddle with it a bit more, but I think it's a good start. Whether or not the charcoal is going to stand up to more working or not, I don't know, but it's a good start. And I think the light is now starting to work. You know, the mouth's still a bit weird, but I'll fix that. But the you know, the light and the way the head relates to the background is starting to work. But as I say, I'm going to leave it at that, and then we'll see if it evolves into a more than just a face. I quite like that bit there. You know, you sort of do something half done, and it ends up. I quite like that. I don't know whether or not it'll stay like that, but I like it the way it looks at the moment. So not quite sure about it. Just a little bit more on there. I'm thinking about that distance there. That's what I'm looking at. That, see, from there to there. I'm also looking at this from here to here and to here. Look at that. Don't you see that? I'm trying to measure those visually, make those comparisons. I think it's just about right. That, you know, that's just about right. That is just a little bit more. Yeah. Quite like the way that the jaw cheek thing developed. Not really with any effort, but you can see how it feels like his jaw. Yeah. And I say it needs to be a little bit darker here. But I don't want to do it like that. And which I probably will. As I said, I like the drawn element of it. Right. catch you later when I'm deciding what I'm going to draw later. I shall catch you later.
Yeah.